Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening. And welcome. Welcome to another episode of If You Ain't Laughing, You Ain't Living. The podcast where we have real life conversations about real life situations with a twist of funny to it. You know, this podcast is based on us talking about stuff at a relaxed mind state and sharing information to help others. We're all about
Mhm.
serving people in this podcast because we need to serve one another. That's why we're here. So today we got a topic that I know is gonna just man, it's gonna make all cylinders in your mind open wide up because we talking about teenage pregnancy today, and from a perspective that you didn't think that was gonna hit you. We coming from the men. We talking to the men that had to deal with teenage pregnancy and what they thoughts were and what they had to go through and some of the trial and tribulations that they experienced when going through. And so today, I got two men, two awesome gentlemen, two friend of mine, two guys that I know who been through it. But man, when I tell you they came through the storm and rain like champions, they have come out of this thing, but they're willing to share their stories. They're willing to share their testimony. They're willing to share some of the things they've experienced when being teenage fathers themselves. So without further delay, I'm gonna introduce him to you. One of my gentlemen, my friend, my guy, man, this brother here is an awesome dude. You know, I'm gonna tell you about life. Life is funny. Sometimes we as people will sit back and we'll point fingers at people and we'll stereotype them folks, man, and we'll put them in boxes that we think they're gonna be in. And boy, I tell you, that's what I love about God because He'll prove us wrong every time. The first
Better
gentleman,
know it.
I'm gonna put him on blast. He is a young man who has always been flamboyant, always has been outspoken for sure, and always had a fire to him. His name is Cameron Kelly, a good friend of mine. I'm like an uncle to him, to be honest with y'all, folks. His name is Cameron Kelly. We call him Cam. Cam, I want you to introduce yourself to our audience today, man. Let them know who you are and bring them up to speed on what we got going on.
What's up, everybody? I am the one and only Cameron Kelly. Oh, senior, because I do have a junior. Also, I am the co-founder of Two Paths Podcast. My social media, I go by Postman Dirt, and that's a whole different story how I even developed that name. But I'm a serial entrepreneur. I don't like to use the word multi because sometimes, like you were just saying, they'll kind of box you in. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so there's plenty of different jobs and things that I've had or created for myself in this life that now live. Right? I am a teenage father. By the time I was 17, I had already had 3 kids. Um, so this topic is very important to me as much as it's going to be to the audience and the viewers because we never have got this perspective. The man's voice and how he really felt in these situations, I don't think has ever been heard. So I want to appreciate you, Mr. Wright, for even introducing me and allowing me to come and share this platform with you to get that out.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you for coming in and be willing to share, man. You know, sometimes getting people to just volunteer stuff, especially when they've been through some tough times with it. Sometimes they want to just leave it alone and leave it dormant and not willing to share, but we need to share it so we can help somebody else. Because best believe somebody else feeling the same way you felt back in that time. So
That's
I
right.
appreciate you for joining me, man. I salute you, brother. I got
Yes,
another
sir.
brother on here, man, a professional. Not only, man, did God connect me and this guy from about the first time we met, we still connected, and I can tell you now, we're gonna be connected. It's almost gonna be like a marriage. They say it to death do us part. We ain't going nowhere. His name is Naeem Johnson, man. He's an awesome dude, man. He's a man that's just figuring his way out in a lot of ways, man. But he loved God, he loved his family, and Lord knows I ain't gonna say it out loud, but he got a lot of kids. But anyway, his name is Naeem Johnson. Mr. Johnson, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience, man. Tell them a little bit about yourself, brother.
All right. How y'all doing today? I'm Naeem Johnson. You can find me on Facebook, Naeem Jolly Johnson. Uh, what was that? Snapchat, same thing. TikTok, same thing. And then you can find me on Instagram, Debonair Naeem. Um, so again, I grew up, born in New York, raised in New York, brought down to Florida. Parents wanted to get me right. I understand that. I was in a lot of trouble. But at 18, I had my first son in high school, my senior year. So spent my senior year, I had to get some things done, and quit football and just buckle down and just do what I had to do for my son and for my family to finish high school. So That's a little bit about myself. You know, just
Okay.
it.
Well, man, listen, we appreciate you, man, for coming in and sharing that with us. And again, we thank you for sharing your story, man. Again, I'm super passionate about this subject tonight, audience. I'm passionate because God put it in my spirit, man, how much the light is dimmed on young teenage fathers. And I want to expose that. I want to change that around. I want to shed some light on these young people, these young men, still to this day, that are struggling right now as we speak, having this conversation. There's some teenage father out there struggling, trying to figure out how to take care of a baby, and he ain't but 15, 16.
Mm.
Some even as young as 13, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I want to take a moment to salute all these young teenagers who are trying their best to figure out to take care of this child that they have fathered. I'm not taking light off the young ladies. That's not what this podcast is about. But this podcast today is solely about bringing some light, some information, and to help these young people out here who are trying to figure it out, even trying to find a balance on the next move to make to take care of a child and ultimately themselves, right? So we're gonna dive into some conversation about it, fellas. As the people know, this is a relaxed room. The podcast is called "If You Ain't Laughing, You Ain't Living for a Reason." We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna laugh a little bit about some things, but we're gonna share some real stuff so people can learn from it and hopefully take something back to the streets, back to their families, back to to the the children. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I was thinking about this podcast for a while now. Me and Cam had some conversation last week. We pretty much had a podcast without podcasting.
For real.
Because and same thing with Naeem, because once I talked to y'all about it, man, it kind of hit home for both of y'all and we all felt it. And
Yes,
it's
sir.
crazy because the thing about it is I wasn't a teenage father, but Lord knows I was out there trying. But but I now mind you, not glorifying it, but I'm just keeping
Right.
it real. I was a teenager.
Yes, sir.
And I was a teenager that grew up in an urban environment, and I didn't have a father growing up. So I grew up. There was a part of me that was reckless, and there was a part of me that was responsible. And I give kudos to my mother for that part. She did the best she can do. And I think why this conversation is so near and dear to my heart, because I recognize I was raised by a teenage mother, you know, and my mama gave me permission to talk about some personal things. And I thank you, mom, for that I can share to help others, because she was a teenage. I was her third at 16. And I'm not ashamed to say that people might shun on her, but just be careful what you say about my mama, because I turned to the green man and I bust out my pants about my mama.
You
But
better.
no judgment attached to it, because that's really and truly, honestly, I mean, all jokes aside, that's still common. But
Oh,
somewhere along the
definitely.
line, y'all remember way back in history when you can hear about your great grandma and them had 12, 13 kids, and she started when she was 13, and
Yes,
That
by
sir.
was
the
the
time
norm. That
that
was
was the norm.
It was.
But
yeah.
why? Somewhere along the line, society flipped that thing around and they started making them frowning their nose up, man. But them people stood in the paint. You know what
Definitely.
I'm saying? So
Definitely.
I'm one of those people that I kind of defend that. I defend it because yes, I'm not ashamed to say who I was and where I came from. And my mother did a great job with 5 kids
Mm.
by herself, no marriage.
That's
You
what's
know what I'm
up.
saying? So, but this topic, y'all. I wanna just jump into it, and
Okay.
I'm gonna start with Cam. Cam, I was thinking like some of the effects of teenage pregnancy. I did some research today, man. I was trying to figure out how to approach this conversation. And one thing I found out, one thing we can be happy about is teenage pregnancies for men and women is at an all-time low in America, in the States. So that's good.
Okay.
And we're going to attribute that to more ways to deter that urge of being careless. There's
Mm-hmm.
more education available to us now. And honestly, there are actually finally men stepping up to be in the lives of they young men and trying to divert something that they've been through. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
But I want to kind of challenge some of the curses that came with it in the beginning. And I don't know I don't know as well as y'all do because y'all really experienced it. But I
Mm-hmm.
do know because I always paid attention. And again, I thought for plenty of times that I was gonna be one because I was in that space. So
Right.
so I know one thing, and I want y'all to let me know if I'm right or wrong about this. One thing about being a teenage father, like Naeem and I were talking about earlier, man, y'all was in school. Y'all had some prominent stuff going on. life was looking good. Y'all was living teenage lives, man. I mean, Cam, you
Yeah,
was 15. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? At 15, and then all of a sudden you got a word that said, "Hey, Cam, I'm pregnant." And I want
Hmm.
you to just explain to our audience, how did you feel in that moment? Like once you got that initial word that you was expecting a human being, how did that change your course? Because you was an athlete, I know that for sure, and you was a very good one. How did that change the trajectory of your journey?
Everything stopped.
Mm,
When I got that word, my world stopped, right?
okay. Mm-hmm.
And to say it was surreal, I think would be an understatement at this point of where I'm at now with my understanding. Um, I'm 15 years old. I got a lot of great things going for me, right? In school, I was always, I like to stand out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go hear me from around the corner because I talk loud. You know what I'm saying? I want to be fly because I got to have something to go with this persona that I done created for myself, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm looking to my original hero was my daddy, right?
Okay.
Growing up, before I even started having sex or had a baby, I've always had multiple stepmoms at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I said that to say this. I thought, because if I'm watching this, is this my example that I have this going on? That's how it goes. Boom. Also, my daddy had a bunch of kids.
Mm.
So my every time I'm talking to anyone other than my dad and my dad come up, my thing is I want to be just like my dad. My dad go keep him a car. He go keep him plenty of money. He got plenty of women. And yeah, he got plenty of children. But he got everything he got, it comes plentiful. Right? So now I'm having sex, freshman in high school, and we ain't using no protection. We going MTM, this thing meet to me. I need to feel all of you. You know what I'm saying? Anything else don't even matter. I'm not expecting to get this woman pregnant. And at the time she was a child, because I was a child, to get this child pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I was never expecting to do that. So when it came to me, hey, that I'm pregnant, it was a shock. I was like, nah, man, you tripping. You can't be. And then I'm like, I got to tell my mama, you know what I'm saying? Because me and my mama like this here.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, listen, mama, this girl told me she pregnant. My mama said, well, I'm going to tell her mama. No, 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 don't do that. Don't go tell her mama. No, 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 no. But if it affected me in a different way because my dad wasn't in my household, right? I had male examples around me, but in my household, it was me, my little brother, and my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And at this moment, I'm seeing it's already hard enough on my mama. What are you gonna do? And then in this year, I got other people telling me, well, you got to get a job. Well, I'm sharp enough to understand I got to go to school and go to work after school. And if I'm going to McDonald's or whatever, I ain't number 15, they ain't gonna pay me no money. So I got other examples because I ride through the streets. And this is when I fully turned to the streets.
Mm.
That was my pivotal moment in my life where I say, you know what? All this stuff here don't even matter no more. You got to go out here because somebody got to take care of this little boy that's on the way. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna have all of the support because that's what people tell you in the beginning. Oh, I got you, until you need them and they ain't got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those are things that you're gonna experience through times because life is gonna ultimately teach you about people, places, and things. But the effect that it had on me, it changed my whole life
Mm.
right there in that moment. And I love my kids and they are a blessing to me. But in that moment, I didn't see it as being a blessing. I felt like I just threw my life away.
Mm.
I just crashed out. I just wrecked. I just played. That's
Wow.
the term we use. Man, you just played because it ain't no more you when Christmas come around. I can't buy you, then I gotta buy something for this child. If your birthdays, they seem like at 15, like birthdays don't even matter to you no more. Like you just getting
Yeah.
older, but you're a man now. And I didn't have a blueprint on being a daddy. because I just explained to you what my example was. And that's not saying nothing bad about my father. I love him. I spend a lot of time with him now. But that was my example.
Yeah, I
So
get.
I'm thinking this is how it goes. This is how it goes. My friends that know me really know who Cameron is. They didn't have kids, right? They weren't doing that, but they was in full support. I am gonna say that. And in that moment, Doc, I think is where I created my alter ego, because I stopped being Cameron, because in this point right now, Cameron no longer exists, and I became Lil Dirty, right? Because now I got to go out here in these streets. I got to do the things. I got to become a part of this world in order to provide for a world over here. So I began to live a double life, and
Right.
that's the biggest effect that it had on me. It created a double life for me.
Okay. Man, listen, you just hit a lot of key
A lot of keys.
points. Man, listen, and I'm telling you, because I
I'll write this
appreciate that
down.
because I know right now you got it, but you know what, Cam? You just said exactly what we see. You just said exactly what I knew was happening, and my heart goes out. That's more of a reason why my heart go out to the young men, because there are so many, especially I'm putting emphasis in the urban community because that's where we came from. It is
Mm-hmm.
happening in other communities. Let's shed some light on that for a second. It is happening in other communities. It's not a black and white thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not none of that. It's happening. Um,
Right.
it just in our time and in our communities, it just seemed to be more amplified and to get edified in that manner. You know what I'm saying? But it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But you just said some things that kind of, okay, so I'm a product of a teenage father. You know what I mean? And maybe that's another reason why I'm passionate about it. Because my mother got pregnant, she was a teenager, but my dad was a teenager also. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So to say what you said, alter ego, got to figure it out. Now you got to take care of this baby. It ain't about you no more. But what it did was it snatched your youth away from you just like that.
Immediately.
You know what I mean? So I want to hear Naeem share of what it did to him when he found out. What happened, Naeem? What you got?
Yeah, so we went ahead. It was me and my girlfriend at the time. She was about 3 years older than me.
Wait a
So
minute. Excuse me. Stop. So let me do the math. 18, 19, 20, 21. So you had an older head, what they call it. She was older than you. So you was, so statutory, well, you were 18, so it wasn't statutory nothing. But
well,
you had a grown woman in your life.
I put it like this: we had started dating when we were 16. So I was with one woman from the
Okay.
time I was 16 to the time I was 25.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
The math hit a little bit different for me. If you ain't laughing, you ain't living.
Yes.
The math still ain't mathing to me.
She was 19. He was
She,
16. She was 19.
all I'm saying, she was still older.
Yes,
Go
yes,
ahead, sir.
yeah. She was still older.
Okay.
Uh, at the time I liked that older woman. So as dealing, with my ex-wife, we started again dating at 16. She was 19. Went through the motion. I was still in high school. She was in college. We was doing our thing every day. Making do what it do. I played football. That was my go-to sport. And then my senior year, middle of the summer, hey, I'm pregnant.
Mm.
What do I do?
Now, had you already graduated or you were going into
Oh,
your
I
senior?
was going into my senior year.
Oh wow, that's a lot of pressure.
So what do I do? So I got to start getting stuff together, baby showers and this and that, and everybody else they had practice and extra practice, and
Yeah.
I'm coming. I got to come home and do this and do that, and finally I just said, hey, you know what? I got a baby on the way, so I quit football. I had to work.
Yeah.
I once I started working, that's just what it was. I was working 40 hours a week and still going to school.
Yeah.
Had to make it do what it do.
Wow.
But I still graduated on time.
Okay, good.
You
Good, man.
had support from my mother.
Right.
He had support from her family as well. So it worked out. And now today my son will be turning 25 in September.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good to hear that kind of story. Because yours actually was a little bit more positive in certain things. Because you sound like you had a little more help than some people. You know what I mean? You had, like you said, support from your mom, and her mom was more supportive. So that's good. And it don't sound like there was a lot of discord in your situation. You end up marrying her. That was your first
Yes.
wife.
And then about
Okay.
a year and a half later, we popped up with another one. And that's when I went ahead and made that decision. Hey, man, we need to go ahead and get married.
Okay, now
Okay.
stop right there for me. I want to visit a couple of pieces here. You was 18.
I was 18
You
when
was
I had
playing
my first
football.
son.
Tell me a little bit about your thought process, man, when you was playing football. Like most guys that love football and play football, they had aspirations to go pro. You
Absolutely.
know, so in your mind, you was thinking about, were you in the good or you were garbage? Which one? Which?
I was mediocre. I
Okay,
was mediocre.
I'm just
Hey,
asking for.
hey, listen, I wasn't hey, I wasn't D1. Hey,
Okay,
no, I wasn't that. I wasn't that. I
okay,
was mediocre.
hey, you know what? I appreciate you. I, I, I appreciate your honesty, right?
Yes, sir.
Because the reason why I say that, like seriously, most people when they have that in their heart,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to the pros. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm going
Oh
to the
yeah,
pros.
I'm going to the
So
league.
to get a hit with a baby drop, you know what I mean. You on the top. Even being a mediocre player, seriously, you still had a love for the game. You know what I mean. And there's no way. You really didn't know how it would have turned around because you were dedicated. All you got to do to be an athlete, man, and go somewhere is be dedicated.
That's it.
You know what I mean. Have that heart to be dedicated and consistent. And you don't know where that would have took you. But when you got hit with that, you got a baby on the way. Now you like Cam, you automatically had to divert over to fatherhood,
Absolutely. And
right?
how I diverted the fatherhood was I said, hey, my father wasn't there to me till I was 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be there for mine.
Right.
I'm gonna be there for mine. And that was the mindset. Hey, I gotta get out here and work 40 hours a week. I was working McDonald's and Burger King.
Yeah.
Leave one job, go across the street, go to the next one
Right.
in school. And so, like I said, my senior year, I went ahead and finished up, but I was still working 2 and 3 jobs after that.
Wow. Yeah. So wow. You know what? We didn't enter in two different rooms because Cam was 15, you was 18, right? And the teenage pregnancy rate is higher amongst 18 to 19-year-olds than 15 to 17-year-olds. Right?
Yeah.
So you was in that higher number,
Mhm.
but you was still in the numbers that they were still producing. You know what I'm saying? But for me, the end result was still the same. Y'all had to redirect y'all paths,
Absolutely.
right? And I thought about some things that I know are challenging, that were challenging to you all and many other people like you all. When you have to change your order of service, so to speak, when you have to immediately become a man, that's rough. I mean, I'm talking about, man, I know for me, when I was 15, when I was 18, I wasn't thinking about having no children. All I was doing was practicing on the stuff I knew to take to get some children. Y'all
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying?
That's right.
But I wasn't thinking about actually, like you said, kind of like, wow, I'm having a baby. You know, you don't think about this stuff, of course. All you think about, man, I'm young and having fun.
And that's grown people stuff. They ain't my
That that that's grown people stuff.
That grown people stuff.
That's grown people stuff. So to just take that, man, and be into that space where, man, my life has changed. Now I want to go a little deeper, y'all.
Bring it.
When y'all enter in these rooms of parenthood and you had to change your course of life completely. You traveled down some roads that probably you wouldn't have probably traveled if this baby boom hadn't got hit with you. You know, you did some things that you probably wouldn't have did if you didn't have that responsibility on your back. Because when it was just you, you was able to be all right. Right now, I know the now in today's world they talk about mental health a lot. Like mental health is everything nowadays. But man, I wish I could take it back for all the young men, including y'all in y'all era, where somebody can say, hey man, what's going on in your head? You know, how you feeling emotionally? I heard you got a baby on the way, man. How you feeling? Man, I never heard it from none of my friends. I never seen that where the young men get coddled. This is what the young men get. Man, you got to take care of that baby. And if they from the older generation, especially like the grandparents, where all they knew was to marry whoever had a baby, well, I guess you got to marry her now.
Yes.
Man, who talking about marriage at 15? What's wrong with these people, man?
So,
But that's the energy them old people had, right?
That's right. That's
Now
right.
watch
yeah,
now watch this. Picture this. Now y'all know, like I know, some people raised by their grandparents.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And if you in a household being raised by your grandparent, that's the first thing that grandparent, well, oh, you better get your job and take care of the baby. Now guess what? He ain't had no other education to teach you about nothing else but go work. And what you do, you quit school. A lot of them quit school.
They did.
That's
They go
right.
work at their local steel mill, their local company. They work they behind off to buy Pampers and milk and to take care of this child that's on the way. Man,
Mm-hmm.
them kids don't know about real love. They don't know how to. Man, when that happens, all things seem to stop. Like all the education that they's gonna get, that life is gonna build social wise, it's going to the wayside. You pick that stuff later on, like now, when you start figuring things out. Sometimes it take 10, 15 years, man, because you don't even know how I feel to love nobody really. Because all I do is I'm working, I'm buying Pampers. You don't even know how to be a father to the baby.
Nope.
All they tell you, you gotta work, you gotta take care of this child. But I'm telling you, for the audience, this is very important. If you listening to this podcast right now, this is what I want you to do. I want you, if you're in this situation, I want you to reach back. Go to your nephew, go to your neighbor's children, go to your sister's kid, go to your own children. If this is you, and ask them how they doing. Go to them young men, go to them young men, hold them young men and tell them, hey, you're gonna make it, you're gonna be all right. Because them young men are dealing with some of the stuff these two gentlemen are speaking of right now. They had to go change their whole lifestyle up to take care of these children, and no one really came and coddled them. No one gave them no outlets but work. Everything was just work, 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 work. But why go back and tell these people, hey man, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it together. I'm advocating for that right now, man. I'm advocating for somebody to go coddle these young teenage fathers, because guess what? They in the streets, they dying, trying to take care of this baby they
Yeah.
got. They
Yeah.
hustling. They can't even count good, but they know how to count money because they got to get something for this baby.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? This deep like that, y'all.
Yes.
What's your take on? What's your take on that, Johnson?
Man, it's a struggle. Just to even fathom that, that us young men are so adamant about taking care of our kids, which is like that's not the norm for what they put out there, that we don't take care of our kids, but we actually do, and we're doing anything and everything possible just to take care of them. And I understand a lot of us come from the streets, and that's what they're resorting to. They're resorting to that street life, quick, fast money, because ain't no job for me. Ain't no these young men don't have no work ethic sometimes, and or don't know how to go get a job. But they
Well,
know they got everybody telling them they gotta take care of that baby.
we got an example right there, because Cam told us. Cam literally told us, man, he had to get the name a little dirty, because now he had to go out here and earn money the way he knew he can get it, because he around the neighborhood. So Cam, if you don't mind, just share a little bit of your story, man, or how that news you had to create a whole nother character, man, an alter ego, if you will, to get out there and take care of your responsibility. And by the way, I want to commend you for doing that. Whether it was illicit, illegal, I just want to commend you for having the mindset to go out there and do what you feel like you had to do. You know what I mean? And you grew up with a dad who was a Rolling Stone.
That's
So
right.
he didn't really lead an example that should have been laid, in my opinion. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? It
Right.
wasn't a perfect household. Who had a perfect household? Nobody. But I feel like if he laid all them eggs, if he could spread himself thin enough just to teach y'all, hey man, this ain't the way. What y'all see going, all your brothers and sisters, all these brothers and sisters that you got, from all these different stepmamas got, this ain't the way it go. So don't follow behind your daddy. This is what I want you to do. And then I'm gonna stretch. I don't care if I gotta stretch myself thin to support you in your football. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, Cam, you had to go out there and figure it out, man. Tell us how that was.
Right. So for me, right, from a mental aspect, right,
Right.
I didn't know what was going on. I had no clue, right? I put on a persona as if I did. I put on this persona as if, oh, I got it figured out, or it was never, I'm figuring it out, or I need help figuring it out. I got it. Because what's been told is you got to go do this, right?
Yeah.
You got this baby. You ain't got no option but to be here and take care of this baby. For me, and that's why I was listening to what Mr. Johnson was saying. He was able to go get 2 jobs, work 40 hours a week,
Yeah.
and still had that support from his family, his mom and grandma and them, right? My mama was already struggling, right? My grandma had my older siblings, my grandma raised them. So my mama had me and my little brother Bubble. And when you were saying that earlier about the teenage pregnancy, I had my first child at 15. My little brother Bubble had his first child at 12.
Uh-huh.
So and that ain't saying that
Say that one more time. Repeat that one more time for the audience.
I had my first child, I was 15.
Okay.
Bubba was 12 years old.
12 years old, man.
So,
Wow.
and that ain't saying that our mom wasn't doing the best she could, but my mom spent a lot of time away due to having to provide.
Right.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
had a whole lot of free time, right?
yeah.
Mentally, I was warped. You got a baby. What you gonna do?
Right.
What you gonna do? Not only do you got a baby, and that's why I say I created this alter ego, because now it's a sense of delusion, right? You
Okay.
still got to keep up the hype of this person you done created, this
Yeah.
persona,
Yeah.
but you also got to try to be here for this baby. I went to prison 3 times
Mm-hmm.
behind this persona,
Yeah.
this image,
Yep.
And when I look back at it now, with where I'm at right now, it was never about the baby, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Doc, me and you had this conversation a while back. I can honestly say it was never about the baby, and this is why. Because if it was ever about the baby, I would have did everything not to go to prison in order to remain in the baby's life.
That makes sense.
You see what I'm saying? But no,
Yeah.
what I did, I said I'll use the baby for a reason to go into the streets. I got to get it right now. I got. I ain't going to. I'm not going to flip no burgers and have my homeboys come through the drive-through and I pass them a bag. That ain't
Yeah.
look hurting. No,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got the wrong one. That ain't me.
Yeah.
It's a problem up here.
Yeah.
Everything I'm thinking is clicking, but it ain't clicked yet.
Yeah.
It ain't clicked yet. Cause now where I'm at, I go shovel manure
Yeah.
before I go to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at that time, at that point, it was what can you do right now that's gonna create some money, but also give you that sense of freedom and that street buzz. See, everybody be wanting the fame,
Yeah.
and before social media, I already was a viral moment, according to me. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was a local celebrity. I was a neighborhood superstar, and I allowed that to remove me out of these kids' lives for
Right.
numerous of times for extended amount of time. So I think what that did is, like I said, I was warped mentally. I was in a real dark place, and I was looking for a way to escape and not deal with my reality. My reality was you need when people you got people telling you need to go get a job to take care of this baby, and my reality is, nah. My hero, which was my daddy, was an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Now, whether I got to get some cocaine and cook it up and learn how to do all this here, whether I got to have multiple women with jobs and wait on income tax time and figure out this here, I'm gonna try all kind of things
Yeah.
because I'm not going to work for nobody to take care of my child. I'm gonna figure it out, which was totally wrong.
Right.
Now I can speak to other people and tell them if I had to have a conversation right now with my younger self, I would have went to McDonald's. I would have went to Burger King. I would have got a lawnmower. These are things that I would have did. I wouldn't have been trying to go run behind cars to get some Air Maxes and get my baby, put him in Oshkosh Bagosh and all this here. He could have wore Walmart brands, and I could have too, if that was gonna allow me to spend that time I need. And that's what I was neglected. I had a summertime daddy. And what I mean by that, I was with my dad during the summer months when school was out. We was
Uh-huh.
on the watermelon season. We was doing different things. These are the times that I was spending with my dad. Now with spending that time with my dad, guess what? My dad is working. So he's showing us what hard work look like.
Okay.
But I'm looking at it from his peripheral, right? You ain't loaded a watermelon. You ain't cut now. You ain't throw it now. You a boss. You a big dog out here. You's a contractor.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that neither.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing that neither.
Yeah.
I'm Johnny Kelly's son. What you mean? I got the same blood he got.
Yeah.
So it's the delusion that I created for myself that really removed me out my kid's life and took away a lot of time that I should have been there. And it hurt me more now
Yeah, I'm
to
sure it
look
does.
back and hear people tell my kids, well, you just like your daddy. No, don't. And I tell people when I hear, don't tell them that, right? Because you don't even know who their dad is. You knew the guy that their daddy presented to you, but you don't really know who their daddy is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
got friends that never met Lil Dirty, but they can tell you everything about Cameron.
Yeah.
Then I got friends that don't know nothing about Cameron, but they can tell you everything about this Little Dirty image in the streets. And
Yeah.
then I got a few friends that can tell you about both of them that I know I can't fake the funk or put up these personas around these guys because they were really my accountability partners. My
Right.
friends who growed up in both parent households, their parents accepted me and took me in. And dog, you know, like my best friend, you know him very well. I go down here, I'm eating cereal with him, I'm getting the but guess what? We went two different directions as we got older. And no, he ain't like it because he used to get on to me about it.
Mm-hmm.
But he understood.
Yeah.
He had empathy for me because he said, you do got that baby.
Yeah.
Now you ain't gonna be no bum. Now I ain't gonna let you just be no deadbeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you do see where you're going at with it. And ultimately, I can say now, anytime you are removed out these kids' life by something that you did, your actions, you qualify for the deadbeat status to a certain extent.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you.
So
I tell you what.
so mentally, it really messed me up mentally.
Okay. So man, listen, I tell you what, I hope that this podcast, this episode, this segment, I hope this get out to the masses. And I'm gonna tell you one reason in particular, because I'm from the inner city. I'm from Chicago and I'm from that environment. And man, when you start talking about different characters, you know what I'm saying, and
That's right.
different people, the image you created for yourself, you just touch home. And I because of the time, I can't go into it too much, but I will say this. What you just said is confirmation for a sermon that I preach uh, about identity crisis.
Mm-hmm.
You have exactly identified what God had told me probably about 8 or 9 years ago, because I was out there in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And God knows I want a street dude, but when you grow up with so many different strikes against you, only because of you in that neighborhood, you in environment, then my anger started getting out of control because I ain't had no daddy like my other sister and them did. It's funny because in my household, I was the only one that didn't know his father.
Mm.
Out of 5 kids, I was the only one. Every summer it was just me and my mama because they could go to their mom, their daddy in them house. You know,
Mm.
they can go. So imagine that. Imagine you got me and mama. That's why anybody that know Doc, they know when you say something about Ernestine Wright, AKA Tina, you know the eyebrow gonna stick up out like this. You can't. God knows I'm holy, but you just don't do it too much because when the eyebrow get like this, I'm feeling some type of way, and I'm saying that because she had to be mama and daddy
Yeah.
for
That's
me.
real.
Yes.
And man, I turned out pretty good because let me tell you something. And Naeem, I got a question for you about marriage, man. I'm gonna tell you something. For me, everything I do, man, I got to get God reference. It was God, man, that had an extra hand or two for my mama. My mother wasn't educated either. There's no way without God that she couldn't navigate all these children with what she instilled in us how to survive. Because we come from a city in the street life. My mother taught me the streets. She taught me how to survive.
That's right.
I tell this, and I'm gonna continue to tell this until I don't have no more breath in me. I can tell a person how to live on this earth. I can tell a person how to negotiate just about anything you can think of. If it come down to the bottom line, I guarantee I can negotiate it with you. I learned that from my mother. And
That's
I'm
right.
saying that to say this right here for the people that's listening. Give these young people some avenues. Teach them some stuff that they can build something on, even if they got to deal with teenage pregnancy. You can still show a young man at 15 how he can go out and open his own little car wash at 15. Pull up a hose, a bucket of water, some sponges, some chamois, some Windex. Man, $50 can get him started. And that could be a means to teaching him how to be responsible, a business owner, and start bringing in people that's going to feed into them. People love when they see young people trying stuff. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
So if you don't have an example before you, like I never had a father example.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I learned about being a father, I learned along the way. And
Mm.
I watched other people being fathers to their children. I took notes.
Right.
Naeem, you mentioned earlier, man, about when your baby, you was 18, y'all ultimately got married. Was your marriage influenced by the fact that you had the first baby, then had the second girl. You said
Yeah.
when by the time
Yeah.
you had second, no, I might well go ahead and do this thing. But were you in a space that your heart was in love with her, that you seen the white picket fence and the marriage, or you felt the responsibility so strong on you that I need to stay with these two kids because they mine?
Mm-hmm.
And that is a problem because
Mm-hmm.
the divorce rate, man, that come from those type of responsibility and reasons why we marry is just as high as the teenage pregnancy rate.
It
You know what I
is.
mean? Because it plateaus. It gets to a place down the road where you start seeing, I wasn't in love with you. You had my babies and I had to stick with you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, I put
I
it
didn't
like
I didn't even go ahead and tell me a little bit about that.
that was my first love. So
Okay.
I
So you was head over heels.
I definitely was head over heels, and of course with that old school mentality where, hey, I got kids, let me go ahead and marry her. But did I have the funds to do it? Not really. We were broke as a joke. We were still going for one time we were still living with our parents with 2 kids.
Okay. Okay.
So both struggling, just trying to make it, trying to get it out the mud, and we just out there just working, putting the kids in school, getting help through the government and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
made it.
Say it with me. Say welfare. Say it with me. Yeah.
No,
Let me hear you say.
that was when I was a kid, where we used to go on the welfare line.
Oh, okay.
That's real.
I
The
thought you got the food
cornflakes in
stamps
the
like
white
I
box,
thought you got the I
and,
thought you got
and,
the food stamps like we
this,
did.
and the peanut butter with this much oil at the top.
Got to drain it off. Yeah.
Got to drain. And now they call
Oh.
it's block cheese, but now they call it Velveeta cheese.
Yeah.
They gave it a title.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
gave the title now.
yeah.
But it's still government cheese.
But it was I was in love. I definitely was in love.
Yeah.
And no doubt about it, it was that old school mentality. Hey, we got to get married. We got the kids. Let's do this thing right. Boom, 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 boom. And just over time, it just went to the wayside. You know, I ain't got nothing to say bad about my ex-wife.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So let me ask both of y'all this. And I'm gonna start with you, Johnson. Now that y'all mature, let's fast forward.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all older and y'all done been through it and y'all made some decisions that was good and some was bad. You got to find out about your raw emotions about things. Relationships didn't work out, a lot of them. Some of them didn't work out. You still got to be responsible for your children, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But is there now in y'all, I believe early 40s, both of y'all tapping over 40 now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel anything now inside of you that says, you know what, man, during this journey, on my journey, if I could take it back, I do this, and this, but I won't do this, and this for the sake of having a child.
Of
You
course.
understand what I'm saying? Like the obligation that you got for being a parent as a teenager, again, like we already expressed, is just what we were told. You got to take care of the baby. Cam said something that got my attention. Basically, he didn't really get to know how to even love the child. All he knew was to take care of the child.
Take care of the child. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And did you experience that same sentiment, man? Or yours kind of sound a little bit more put together. Your situation sound a little more put together because it sounded like y'all was together and y'all had help. But there was that discord in there and you was just trying to make it work because you was in love?
Of course. Just trying to make it work, trying to do everything I do. Basically, it goes back to I tried to make everything work because, again, my father wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
So because he wasn't there, I made a promise to myself that I was always going to be there for my kids.
Mm.
So whatever it took to be there for my kids, I was there.
Okay. And when it didn't work out, of course, I know you were still there because I know you're a stand-up guy. But once you got over that first initial love phase, because that was your first love, like you said, you had to rebuild yourself.
Absolutely.
How did you muscle up the strength, man? I mean, you had to, but at the same time, it's still emotional barriers that you had to face. You had to fight.
I went left. I was in the club every weekend, started doing promotions. I was a club guru.
Okay.
Everybody know me in the city. Same thing. Like I was Mr. Everything. Everybody knew me, but all in the inside, I was still broken.
Yeah.
I was broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I put on this persona like, hey, everything good, boy. I got money. I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah.
I'm broke. I
I
just
got you.
come out every weekend. Y'all,
Yeah.
look, man, I dress good. I look nice. I'm
Yeah.
good. But all meanwhile, broken on the inside.
You trying to camouflage it.
Absolutely.
I was trying to camouflage it by working the streets. You know, it's funny to how I didn't have a teenage child, man, but I can relate to so much of what y'all saying. The only difference between y'all and me is I didn't have no children. But all the
Right.
same stuff y'all had, I experienced it. I experienced it, man, from the broken heart to try to camouflage those emotions to even being told I had a baby. And that took my head to the top because I thought I couldn't. And, you know, you hear this cliche story from some jokers about, you know, they had an accident, a doctor told them they couldn't have no kids and all that. But that actually really happened to me. Like real talk, I had an accident on in test speed back in Chicago, trying to ride a bicycle on the snow, and it slid into a gas tank, and I hurt my scrotum. You know what I mean? I ain't no violation of the HIPAA law today. I'm just putting my business in the street, right? So y'all got permission to come in the room with me today, right? So that really happened to me, and I was convinced, especially after so many sessions with different entertaining so many different opposite situations, and I got to believe in my mind that I couldn't. So I became a little bit sloppy at times. You know what I mean? Trusting, and it didn't turn out. So when I did hear, "Oh, I'm pregnant," by who? Now I'm on some other stuff because I'm already in here 7, 8, 9 years where he can't have none.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who that baby
Now,
captain?
there you go. Now we got to line them up. Now we got to line them up. So it's kind of crazy how I can relate to y'all, man. In those ways, the sentiment's still the same. But I tell you what, to hang in there and to go through those atrocities, I salute both of y'all, man. I tell you what, another thing is I hope that the listeners understand this is a mental health time to address these situations. And here's the deal, y'all. Even at y'all age and y'all situation now, if you feel like you need to go talk to somebody, go talk to somebody. Cause I
For
feel
real.
like I'm burdened on the inside. Well, I've been saved for a while, and I gotta be honest with you, and this is the truth. When I got saved and I gave my life to Christ, Cam, you've been knowing me. I'll keep it 100. Now you've been knowing me for some years. I'm gonna keep it 100. And one thing I ain't gonna do is put God on the back burner for nobody.
That's
So
real.
God, when I say God did it for me, man, God did it for me. Released all the trauma that I had hoarding on the inside, the pain, and all the things that I didn't discover about myself. I'm still discovering some stuff. But I'm telling for people that's like us and like you all that never had that moment where they still in a mental state, still jacked up from what happened 35 years ago, 20 something years ago. They still struggling with that, man. Cause you know what? Now they drinking, they alcoholics, they drug users, cause they never had that moment. They was heading in this direction, and that moment got snatched from them, and they had to become a parent. Now they go this way, but that moment never left in their mind. Man, I was supposed to be this. And then when they watch the football game and see their friend they went to school with in the league, man,
That's supposed to be me.
that was supposed to be me, man. Now, tell me that won't cause you to be depressed.
Well, it
Tell
will.
me that won't cause you to light up one or go in. Yes, that's what it does.
That's
So
exactly what it
it
does.
still has a domino effect on our emotional, which we need to address. So make sure you don't deny yourself the opportunity to be free in that space, man. Or even when it comes to your children, make sure that they don't feel the remnants of those energies and those emotions from your past. Because right now, in the time that we living in, these last days, as the Bible called it, man, all you need to do is master love,
Yes.
master forgiveness, master peace with everybody.
Right.
And go to God for all the help that you need for the pain that's still hiding inside of you. Now, the devil gonna try to just keep that and hold it against you so you don't be great.
Yes, sir.
But we on a journey of being great today, starting right now on this podcast. If you ain't laughing, you ain't living. We on a journey of being great today.
That's
And I
real.
want to say for all the mothers, the teenage mothers out there, we thank you all. Thank you all for doing the best that you could. But today we talking about these young teenage men. If you a teenager out there, you got someone pregnant, you don't know how to deal with it, reach out for some help. There's plenty of help nowadays.
It is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Start from your school and talk to a teacher. They'll lead you in the right direction. Talk to somebody in the church. They'll lead you in the right direction. Don't do what these two gentlemen have shared with you, what they did, because they telling you now it's another way to do things.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
If you had to tell somebody, Cam, right now, something to do other than what you did, what would you say to the people?
Use protection.
Okay.
Use utilize protection, and this is my reason why. Not only is it going to prevent pregnancy, but it's 2026, and this stuff jumping on people.
Mm-hmm.
That penicillin ain't getting off,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Protect yourself, right? And if you
Mm-hmm.
are gonna be not covered going into your girlfriend or whatever she is, be sure that's who you want to be with. Because when you go to getting these kids, these are lifetime commitments.
Definitely.
Yes,
That ain't
sir.
saying you and the mom are gonna forever be together, but you forever tied to that child.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that child is gonna be forever tied to their mother.
Yes, sir.
So if you ain't ready to commit like that, you know what I'm saying? Then be cautious. Be
Yeah.
cautious. Be
Yeah. Amen.
cautious.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Naeem, what would you drop on them if you had to help the young 18-year-old Naeem that's in high school playing football mediocrely and looking for a bright future, man? And what would you tell him, man?
Man, I just tell them, man, just focus on other things. The girl
Mm,
gonna be there. That
man,
girl's gonna be
powerful,
there. And and
powerful, man.
and if you don't see it now, you'll see it down the line. Get what you're supposed to get, especially out of school. Whatever it is that you want to do, do it. If it's being a pilot, if it's being anything, enjoy college, enjoy that time, have that time for yourself. You need it. And then we can start thinking about having kids. And
Right,
then start thinking about having a life with a wife and things like that. Because like he said was that it's a lifetime commitment. Once you have these children, it's a lifetime commitment.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. Man, as we wrap this show up, man, I'm gonna share what I would say. And I'm coming from a perspective of a young man that could have had multiple children because I was out there wilding.
Right.
Uh, I'm gonna tell this to the young man that's listening. Help is on the way.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, Naeem, your perspective was great. Focus on other things. Cam, your response was real. You already into it. Protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Don't be foolish about what you're doing. And I'm telling you, help is on the way, meaning there are so many outlets and avenues to do so many other things and enjoy a opposite or a companion or girlfriend. I'm focusing on telling people about clean dating. You know, clean dating.
Mm-hmm.
We put the intimacy or the sexual part on the scale so fast. I want to teach
Right.
these young people, hey, get off them sites and things that got you, that's influencing and encourage you to do this stuff that you ain't even ready for. It's
Right.
not showing you the repercussions of it. It's showing you the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't showing you the hepatitis C, the AIDS, the HIV that you can contract. It's not showing you the medicine that you got to take for the rest of your days. It's not showing you that if you're not careful, like Cam said, how you'll wither away.
That's right.
And it's not showing you the opportunity that you'll miss if you don't focus on something other than that, like Naeem said. How you could be
Mm-hmm.
great in this, how you can create your own this, how you can be the founder of this. Let's stop
Mm-hmm.
putting so much energy into sexual relations, period, as teenagers. Let's
Right.
clear
Right.
that table. Let's clear that board, man.
Mm-hmm.
And let's regroup and reset this thing and teach these young men of our children, our nephews, friends. It don't matter. If you can help anybody that's a teenager, show them how to divert that energy and put it on something else.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Mm.
mean? And still have these conversations, but let them know, hey man, this is not the way to do it. And
Mm.
before we go, my son is 27 years old. And I feel like because I didn't grow up with a father or a father figure, I grew up watching the dudes in the street be father figures and helping me along the way. But I'm so grateful. I feel like if there's anything that I accomplished in my life, man, I feel like it's being a father. I had an opportunity to be this guy that I wish I had in my life to my children.
Ooh.
I had an opportunity to tell my son, I've never talked under a dress to my son. And my son, 27. I never been that dad that told her, "Ooh, boy, she fine. You ought to go hit that." I never did that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? If I do that, I have opened up a cylinder in his mind to make him do just like Cam said, he watched his dad do.
Mm-hmm.
I never opened up that door.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to tell the fathers of these young men, hey man, these ain't your friends, man. They're your children.
Mm-hmm.
Love them enough to want to be great enough not to start out that way, because kids gonna come down the road, but do it the right way. Line them up right. And I feel like my greatest accomplishment, man, is being a father. And to my son, because I only have one now. We lost one, but my son is living. I feel so good that I can look him in the eye with a, and that don't make me no better than nobody. Y'all understand what I'm telling you? It don't make me better than nobody. I'm just telling you, I feel like I've accomplished the greatest goal by looking him in his eye and telling him how to treat a woman, how to respect himself, how not to be doing this thing without being married. I told him about marriage like the Bible tells us to. And he saw me save most of his life. So I was able to live this lifestyle that don't seem real, but it exists.
That's real.
It don't exist, man. It do exist, but it don't seem real because the world got so much influence through social media and these people, man. But it's still real to tell a child, hey, man, you ain't got to be worried about no sex.
You got to.
It's still real, y'all. So if you got an opportunity to double back, reach out to your nephews, to your grandchildren. Whatever chance you get to help somebody not to go down these paths, do so. Man, I'm telling you, this has been such a fantastic time talking to you, gentlemen. I'm going to do a favor, ask you for a favor. I'm gonna ask y'all to come back on my podcast here in the near future, man, because this conversation is too long for us to hit in one episode. But I know one thing: today we touched some areas that need to be touched. Y'all have shared some stuff to these people, including myself, that has opened up my mind to want to do better and be better as a person in my age that I am today. Man, I can't thank you enough for taking time out your schedule to come and hanging out with me on If You Ain't Laughing, You Ain't Living.
Okay.
And keep that to your heart because, hey, if you ain't laughing, you ain't living. I love you guys both, man. And kudos to you. And I salute you both, man, seriously, for going through all those different trial and errors. But you all doing good, man. God bless you. And can I have your back? Make that promise to me in front of all these people.
Yeah.
So when y'all don't show up, I'm gonna call y'all a liar and say, yeah.
I'm a phone call away, right?
I'm just saying. I'm gonna talk about
Yeah.
y'all on the air to everybody.
You gonna do that anyway.
Anyway, I'm
For
trying
you
to
to
tell
even
you.
say that, that's something you gonna do anyway.
I
But
want
I'm
you
a
to.
phone call away.
Yes,
And if I don't answer, then you already know I'm on all platforms.
yes, sir.
Two Pairs podcast,
Yes, sir.
DM, whatever, and that's also for the viewers and the listeners, right?
Yes.
That because we focus on mental health on my podcast,
Okay,
and I
good.
would love to share that information with anybody that's willing to accept it again,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because I understand, and I'm gonna say this last thing is that, believe it or not, coming from where we come from, and if there wasn't a man in the house, it was very seldom that a young man was told, "I love you."
That part.
Right? It was very seldom. You didn't hear that a lot. And I can say that from experience. You're not getting told I love you because you got a woman that's not just trying to be your mother and show you this love. She'll show it to you, but she also got to be your father. And I don't want you to be soft. So she ain't telling you, but that is so important to hear those words. And to these young teenage mothers, don't just tell this child that as an infant, and especially to the teenage fathers. Practice on telling your sons that you love them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Practice on that.
Yes, sir. Naeem, get the people something, man, before you close them out.
Listen. By the way, I got 6 birth kids and I got 10 altogether. So I always got a house full of kids. We always got events at the house. Spend time with your kids. Invite them to the house. Just do whatever you can with the kids, man. I'm always going everywhere with the kids. We just went to Japan earlier this year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Went to Dubai last year. I take the kids everywhere we go. We going everywhere we go. We bring the kids so they can see life. We can show them love. Just do it. It's about family life, man. Family.
Yes, sir.
That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. Man, I respect that, man. I appreciate that. Cam, Naeem, man, outstanding, man. Outstanding. I salute y'all with my whole heart. Show them love. Tell them you love them. Again, just to expound on that love factor, because that is a curse. If you don't tell them you love them and show them you love them, they're going to do the same thing to their children because they won't know how to do it. I promise you that. thank God for my mother. My mother didn't beat being tough, only being tough. She made us tough. We was tough. But one thing that she did do to keep a balance, she made sure, even when she whooped me, she made sure she understand, she explained to me why the love came through that whooping that time. You understand what I'm saying? And when she
That's
took me
real.
out, I'm being real with y'all. My mother took us out in the streets. She literally drove us around in that deuce and a quarter. For those of you who don't know, that's a Buick Electric 225. And she
Okay.
rode us around the hood, and she showed us the pimps. She showed us the prostitutes, and she gave us real life street life lessons to survive. Because she said we smart in the books, but if we ain't able to make it out there, we ain't gonna make it. So thank you all once again. Can't say it enough, man. Mama, I love you. Thank you so much. And we're gonna come back at this. And next time we visit this conversation soon, we're gonna include some grandmothers' perspectives. Because
Okay.
grandmothers take up the slack for us when we can't do it ourselves, man. So again, God bless you. We love you, man, and keep it living and
That's
laughing.
right. And laughing. All right, brother.
Yes, sir.